Good morning, everybody. Here is special guest, storm chaser Mike Lachendro.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. We've got a quite interesting day here, actually in Nebraska into Iowa and maybe even parts of the northern Kansas. So Reed and I are about to head down to the Nebraska-Oklahoma game.
Get that off.
So go Big Red.
No.
So depending on how that game goes, depends on a lot of things this afternoon. But crazy part is there's actually a possibility of a nice gentleman backyard chase today through southeastern Nebraska, maybe into southwestern Iowa. Really will depend on what's happening this morning. We had some overnight convection roll through. So cloud debris, boundaries, all in question for degree of instability later today. The Oklahoma-Nebraska game should be over about 2:30, 3 o'clock. And then our goal will be to potentially then position for a supercell or two right around the 7 or 8 o'clock period. SPC day one is shown does...
I'm not seeing this thing.
What?
Hold on, I'm not seeing it.
What?
I'm not seeing the
What?
live tab.
We're not live? Are you serious? Dude, I'm
Hold on. Oh wait, we are live.
Oh.
We are live.
All right, sit down. Here's Reed. we got 2 minutes.
wait.
Make it quick.
Wait, we'll bring it back. We'll bring Mike back.
Yeah, no, you got 2 minutes. We gotta go.
Well, we got to bring you back. Hold on.
No,
We'll
you're
redo
good.
that
Talk
intro.
about Fiona. It is 8:53.
Good morning, everybody. Live update. We've got hurricane watches that have been issued for Puerto Rico. We've got a bimodal tornado threat as well that we're monitoring. We'll be chasing tornadoes later on today in western Iowa. Also, central Minnesota has a tornado threat, 5% up there just east of the parent surface low. That's the main surface low up there. But we're going to bring Mike back in really quick. We want to bring Mike back in once I figure this out. Got to do all these settings on here first. Get all the settings going. And we're considering going to the Oklahoma-Nebraska game. However,
We are.
there is a complex of storms in this area. And that happened this morning. Had a lot of lightning as well. Type in these tags. But it does look like Fiona intensified overnight. Maximum sustained winds of 60 miles an hour now. And with a stronger storm, that means that it's going to be heading just a little bit further north as well. So that's why hurricane watches have been issued. Puerto Rico, as well as the Dominican Republic. And we have the tornado threat, too, today. A bimodal tornado threat. I am live in Omaha here. Nebraska Storm Chasers headquarters. Mike Lachendro's headquarters up here. Here is the official track. That's the official track of Fiona. There you can see it now. It has been shifted just a little bit to the north, not as much. But I was just looking at the morning GFS, and it actually takes this thing right into the heart of Puerto Rico with a further east recurve of a stronger storm. Could even then head up toward Bermuda eventually as well. These areas in pink, that's the hurricane warning. You can see a hurricane warning in the Dominican Republic too. Punta Cana would probably be the best place to intercept based on the official National Hurricane Center forecast track. And you've got a convective explosion. Look at this burst closer to the center of Fiona so far. So let's go on over to the windy.com app. Let me show you this now next. There you can see satellite imagery using the app. Just a wonderful app for visualizing these hurricanes. There's the satellite imagery from the app. There you can see it. And there's a new feature on here, the Hurricane Track feature, where you can actually display the latest updates. Look at that, 50 knots. And you can also see the latest NOAA Hurricane Center track. And look at that, it's still moving off to the west-southwest. That's a pretty awesome feature of the new windy.com app, is that you can also compare what's been happening upstream a little bit. Definitely has been going a bit south of model guidance. You can see it head right to the south of St. John's. And definitely this convective burst over the northern Leeward Islands has led to some flash flood potential up here across the northern sections of the Leeward Islands. Definitely had flash flooding as this passed overhead. And that continues with a big-time convective burst overhead. So here is the National Hurricane Center track right over Punta Cana, eastern edge of the Dominican Republic. Still has it just to the south of Puerto Rico, but now the latest European model does take it right over the southwestern corner of Puerto Rico, and a vast majority of the convection is located on the east and the north side of this storm. And that means that would bring those very strongest winds and the heaviest rain directly over the island of Puerto Rico. Big time flash flooding expected. Ponce, down in the southern section of Puerto Rico, is likely going to have the greatest risk of flash floods flowing south off that highest terrain out there. So that's why these hurricane watches have been issued for Puerto Rico and for the Eastern Dominican right now. So we're going to be headed out to Lincoln for the game, the Nebraska-Oklahoma game. There is a complex of storms that definitely has been raining here across eastern Nebraska. A lot of thunder and lightning overnight. There are some questions as to whether that precipitation will clear out this morning and allow for ample destabilization that could increase the tornado threat across eastern Nebraska into western Iowa later on today. We're going to be looking at that next. But here you can see the circulation on the windy.com app. You can see the surface winds. Strongest winds are on the north side of the center. So these are where the strongest winds are located. This is where you're getting those winds, maximum sustained winds of 60 miles an hour, even some greater gusts. And with this further north track, just across the southern edge of Puerto Rico, it's going to bring this slug of strongest winds directly over the island. The mountainous terrain there, the eastern side of the mountainous terrain is going to squeeze out that moisture. Double-digit rainfall is going to hammer those mountains of central Puerto Rico. That's going to cause flash floods to flow off that higher terrain, likely ripping north to south into Ponce area. And that's going to start tonight, those impacts. Looks like about a Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon pass just on the south side of Puerto Rico. And boy, the 12Z GFS coming in right now is trending a little bit north and with a stronger storm. This is cyclonicweather.com. Great website here. And you can see that this Bermuda high is beginning to consolidate off to the east. This is the large Bermuda high right here. And as it's pushing off to the east and consolidating, it's opening up this area off to the north of it, a weakness in the ridge. And that's going to cause Fiona, after it moves over Puerto Rico, to continue moving off to the north and really intensify, possibly becoming a major hurricane even before reaching Puerto Rico. So that could easily happen. And then we're going to shift on over to the tornado potential as well. But let me step forward in time and show you what the models are showing with this system. A stronger Hurricane Fiona definitely is going to have a further north track, and the morning GFS, at least the 6Z GFS, is definitely starting to pick up on that. Now taking Fiona directly over the island. This is at 12Z Sunday morning. Tomorrow morning takes Hurricane Fiona directly over the island of Puerto Rico. That's the latest update. We're still waiting on the 12Z model guidance, but I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of it jumps on board with this further east track of a stronger system, earlier recurve as well. Definitely the potential for U.S. landfall starting to decrease with Fiona, except for Puerto Rico. So Puerto Rico looks like the chances are increasing for an impact of Hurricane Fiona directly over the island. Could even pass just to the east of Punta Cana, east of the Dominican Republic, which would bring the weak side of the system in northerlies over the Dominican Republic. But definitely look at that, heading directly over the island of Puerto Rico. So still waiting on some new model guidance. We'll hop on over to some of these other forecasts. The spaghetti plots, hurricane models, 12Z, also shifting further east. Look at that. And this is on the tropicaltidbits.com website. You can certainly see that those tracks are shifting off to the east. We're having the windshield wiper effect going in full force. But definitely are having an eastern shift of some of these forecast model members directly over the island of Puerto Rico now. You still do have a vast majority of those members taking it right over the eastern tip of the Dominican. But you don't want to get too focused on the exact track, because even a track just to the south of Puerto Rico is going to bring the most dangerous portion of the storm right over the island, and the heaviest rain as well. this higher terrain over Puerto Rico is just going to squeeze out that moisture, likely double-digit type rainfall out there. Flash flooding is going to be extremely dangerous, especially with all these convective bursts that are happening near and to the northeast of the center. Definitely intensifying as that storm relative westerly wind shear is beginning to relax and as it's starting to curve north. So it's starting to, storm relative westerly wind shear is definitely starting to wane, and so it does look like it's going to intensify all the way up to Puerto Rico, potentially even making landfall as a Category 1 hurricane. Look at some of the intensity forecasts showing you that intensification all the way up to landfall. Many members are showing now a Category 1 hurricane impacting Puerto Rico. That's the official forecast down below. And so it definitely does look like it could end up in this range in the next 24 to 36 hours. The official forecast is down here, but the forecast models are starting to trend up with intensification of Fiona before Puerto Rico. So it does look like this thing could be a hurricane by the time it reaches Puerto Rico. That's what we're seeing right now with these new forecast models, the new trends. Look at that, a powerful storm too as this curls off to the northeast, potentially impacting Bermuda. Could very easily be a hurricane and could have a direct hit on the island of Puerto Rico, especially with this further right trend of a stronger hurricane. So now I want to bring in Mike Lachendro again. We've got a complex of storms and we're going to be pivoting over to the tornado threat today. Here is the complex of storms that's happening so far this morning. This is across Nebraska, and I'm going to bring in Mike to talk about this radar image across Nebraska. Let me loop it here. There it is, looped. All right, Mike, have a seat.
Okay, we got about 4 minutes.
There we go.
4 minutes. So right now, yeah, we actually had some much needed rain that came through overnight and still is happening over portions of near I-29 and parts of southeastern Nebraska.
Notice how I didn't update that text on the bottom.
Look at that.
Let people know that that will be updated next.
Look at that. That's nice. So right now it's going to be clearing out. Well, it's going to really depend on the clearing, as the SPC noted, depending on how quickly the atmosphere will be able to destabilize and then be able to work in some surface heating. Will depend on the severity of the severe weather threat. It was kind of crazy, like last night around, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, it was still like 75 degrees here in mid-September. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting as the day unfolds. Still many uncertainties, but definitely seems that the maximum potential will be just, I don't know, probably south of I-80 between Omaha and Lincoln, far southeastern Nebraska into southwestern Iowa. And then Reed needs to get going because we need to leave. We got a kickoff here at about less than 2 hours. So, Reed, do you think that's good?
I'll do a quick
discussion.
I'll do a discussion.
Yep. And of course, go Big Red.
A Boomer Sooner definitely are excited about the Oklahoma season this year, but let me first adjust the big text. Fiona strengthening, heading for Puerto Rico. So thank you, everybody. We do have a bit of a bimodal setup today. Thank you. We do have a bimodal setup today for severe weather. Looks like we're going to have 2 areas of tornado potential. One off to the north across Minnesota, and the other one further south, southwestern Iowa into the southeastern corner of Nebraska, where we do have a slight risk. Those are the tornado probabilities. We got a 5% tornado probability off to the north. That's to the east of the parent surface low. 2% tornado threat large swath of western and central Iowa, southeastern Nebraska. That does include the Omaha area, of course. Let's start off with our good friend, the RAP analysis. And, of course, we want to look at some soundings across this area and the real surface map. The big concern is whether this complex of storms is going to clear out and whether that'll bring in allow some instability back behind it. You can see we have a lot of showers and thunderstorms across southeastern Nebraska into Omaha, southwestern Iowa too. Had some thunder so far this morning in the Omaha area. And the question is, will it be able to destabilize? So let's see what the RAP analysis shows through about 20Z. And it does look like it destabilizes across southeastern Nebraska. Look at all those southeasterly winds, dry punch, nosing into Lincoln. Does look like it's going to end up happening a little bit further west. Look at that dry punch punching into the Kansas-Nebraska border.
There's a boundary.
Southeasterlies.
Yep, right there.
Front right there as well.
Makes sense with more clearing to the west too for the, yeah, absolutely.
So you can definitely see that dry punch punching into north-central Kansas near the Kansas-Nebraska border. And it does look like, I think we're going to have initiation somewhere over southeastern Nebraska late.
That's literally right where you circle the south of Lincoln.
So let me just show you what the... let's take a look at some of the short-range models here. We do need to get to the game. We're going to the Nebraska game today. Oklahoma, Nebraska. I do expect Oklahoma to win by maybe at least 2 touchdowns, maybe 2 to 3 touchdowns. I do think that Nebraska is going to be able to score a little bit, so I'm thinking probably like a 65-21 type of a final in this game. Oklahoma to win. I think so, yeah. Nebraska just lost their coach. Just lost to, who'd you lose to, Northern Colorado or something? So here is the HRRR stepping forward with time. This is 0Z, showing initiation near the Kansas-Nebraska border right there. Look at that. So we're just jumping right to composite reflectivity.
What time's that at?
That's just 7 o'clock. Yeah, just ahead of that dry punch too. So by 7 into 8 o'clock, look at that. It's going to be down there south of Lincoln. So we're going to be in the Lincoln area and be able to drop down. Looks like more of an MCS formation.
Oh, sorry.
Let's look at the low-level jet. And wow, look at that low-level jet. That's 40 knots down there.
I'm looking even south of
yeah, but I think the instability is not going to be as good up there.
Clearing.
Yeah. Especially with this complex of storms. I'm a little bit worried about the instability into Iowa. Look at that down here, down south.
Yeah.
This is where we want to be.
Wow.
Question is, are we going to be able to take your Jeep and potentially blow the windows out, or do you want me to get a rental car?
Well, we have the football game in less than 2 hours, so it's gonna.
He's got insurance.
Yeah, so.
Hey, here's the forecast sound, and look at that photograph right there, everybody. We do have some issue with capping inversion, so I think we're going to require the low-level convergence associated with that dry punch. There you can see a little bit of capping. We do have a lot of directional shear at the low levels. Very large looping hodograph as well. Definitely supportive of tornadoes if we can get a surface-based storm with this. So it looks quite favorable across this area. And we also want to look at Minnesota. Minnesota just to the east of the parent surface low. You don't have as much in the way of bright colors, certainly. It's like my Mac is about to go to sleep, so we only have 10% of battery left anyway. But this is the northern mode up here. Let's take a look quickly at a forecast sounding up here. You do have more flatter hodographs. Your low-level jet isn't as strong. A vast majority of that low-level jet is punching into southeastern Nebraska into southwestern Iowa. But it does have a nice shape. Does support a tornado threat, certainly. Near 90-degree angle with about 20 knots, 0 to 1 kilometer, 0 to 500 meter shear vector. Also could have some issues with a little bit of stable air at the low levels across that area. But I'm definitely liking this southwest Iowa into southeastern Nebraska, even northeastern Kansas target. Look at that. Mike, look at this at 0Z, surface-based Cape. Look at that, near 4,000 or 5,000.
That looks like a spring setup right there, almost.
See a little bit less instability into Iowa.
Yeah. What's the values down near the border there? What is that?
It's like 4,500 to 5,000.
Wow.
So.
Oh yeah, we gotta get out of here.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at this supercell composite really quick. All pointing toward Lincoln. Even the significant tornado. Look at the significant tornado parameter.
That's literally This is
Beatrice.
south. That looks into near Auburn.
Yeah.
Wow.
Look at this, 3 kilometer NAM. Look at that environment. Significant tornado parameter 12 at 0Z. Look at that, big time.
Man.
2, 3.
It's like a spring chase.
Major. Look at this, Mike. Look at this. 3 kilometer.
We gotta get out of here.
Surface base.
We have to get out of here.
Look at that. 3,000. That's a nice arc of
It's a
3,000.
Great.
Here's your dry punch. So this dry punch southwesterlies are coming in on the south side, hitting these southeasterly winds. You get a lot of low-level convergence out there. I think this is just the front. I don't think we want the front, but
right there.
Yeah, eventually should collide into that. And then we got to go to eastern Iowa the next day on Sunday.
Talk to Will.
On Sunday.
You have golf tee time at 10:50. We gotta get out of here.
I know, jeez. I'm live right now.
Oh, you are? Still?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Got to treat this like a real news network.
Yep.
A little bit of professionalism around here. A real news network operating in here this morning. Look at the rat, Mike. Look at this. You guys got to see this. This is surface-based Cape.
Oh my.
All pointing toward.
How? I mean, come on. That's a little overdone, isn't it? You think?
No, these are 0 to 1 EHIs. So
Look at that.
0 to 1 SRH. I mean, everything.
Is that
right
where's the
low-level jet?
Yep.
All
Because that was going south. That was right there.
It's all near 200 0 to 1 kilometer SRH.
We literally just need to go south after the game, near the border probably, and maybe then a little west.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to bring all my stuff, aren't I? Out here too.
Oh, you're not packed?
Yeah, I never unpacked. So
Yeah. Yep. It's pretty.
it does look like the short range models do destabilize behind this area, this blob of convection. You can see the precipitation starting to move out. A lot of cloud cover still remains back behind this blob of convection out here, but you can definitely see the heavier rain starting to move out. Still a lot of cloud cover back behind. But it does look like the tornado threat is going to be pretty substantial. I'd say the threat of a hurricane in Puerto Rico, unfortunately, is starting to increase as well. There you can see the official Hurricane Center track, but I do think that's going to be nudged further north based on the latest model guidance. Latest model guidance is showing a stronger storm, earlier recurve off to the north. But as is often during this transitional season during the fall, sometimes you have a tornado threat you got to watch. Sometimes you also have threats in the tropics that you need to watch. You also have college football going at the same time. So thank you everybody for tuning in to this live weather briefing. Thank you, subscribers. Usually I do these more live in-depth briefings for subscribers only to have a more personal touch, more personalized live Q&A. We're going to be activating live storm chase mode after the OU Nebraska game. So later on today, we're going to be streaming live. Definitely stay tuned to that. Live storm chasing happening. Thank you, everybody. Never stop chasing. Say bye to Mike, too.
Go Big Red.
No, Boomer Sooner. I'm in a Nebraska household, everybody, but Oklahoma should win handily. 3-4 touchdowns and tornado potential the next few days. Fiona heading to Puerto Rico.